Earlier this year, President Trump lifted a ban on commercial fishing in protected waters. Now we're talking about 400,000 square miles of ocean in the Pacific. And what's interesting is that the fleets that push for this, including in the U.S., really don't historically use those waters. Marcel Henry joins us from Civil Beat, and you did a lot of the research. What did you find, Marcel?
Thanks, Steve. So, yeah, we wanted to look into this because there was so much debate and, there's been a lot of controversy over this order, a lot of discussion back and forth over, whether to open these waters and what would it mean. So we really wanted to dig into the numbers to see, like, how much the commercial tuna fishing fleets out of American Samoa and Hawaii actually used or spent time in the waters in question, which are kind of in the remote central Pacific around various islands and atolls out there. And what we found was that at least in the 5 years leading up to an expansion of these protected waters, where they could still fish in those waters before they were expanded, that they were barely there. I mean, it was like a negligible amount in those. So for the per seiner fleet out of American Samoa, they were spending less than 1% of their total time. Oh. And for the Hawaii longliners in that 5-year period, the sets that they were deploying, it was less than 2%, or in like 1 year, the most they got was almost 2%. So it was just negligible amount of time for this area that these fleets have really been clamoring, saying we have to reopen and get into.
And you saw the map right there a little while ago. Johnston Atoll, Wake Island, that's kind of the area that we're talking about.
Yeah.
So I guess it begs the question, so why were they pushing, and why are they celebrating so much once it was lifted?
Yeah, so historically, these commercial fishing interests have really kind of pushed back against a lot of marine protected areas. That's just kind of been kind of the go-to position. But I did talk to them about, what the numbers were showing. And they pointed out, they said, look, what's happening is that you're seeing a lot of increased competition from fleets in China and Taiwan. The high seas are getting more and more crowded, and these are places where you don't want to be anywhere near another, foreign vessel or another fleet that's also fishing for tuna. You're just not going to get it. The other big factor they pointed to was the increase in daily rates that some of these Western Pacific nations, they've all banded together and they charge daily rates for per seiners and longliners to fish in the waters that they control outside of their shores. They're saying since the expansion of this monument happened, those fees have gone up tremendously, and it's just becoming more expensive. So they're saying that more and more they're actually going to be looking to these waters.
Right, and I got one more question. I mean, 30 seconds.
Sure.
So you said this might not be the end of it. There could be an expansion of the lifting of bans. Where else are they looking?
Yeah, I mean, now all eyes are really on Papahanaumokuakea, which is really in our backyard, right? Recently, the local fishing regulatory council passed a resolution saying we'd like to really reopen these waters and study about lifting it like they just did in the remote Central Pacific.
Yeah, all right, good stuff. Dan, we just touched the surface of this. Marcel joining us. Thank you for your time.
Thanks.
You can read that full article on civilbeat.org or text 66866 to get their newsletter. Jelani, over to you.